Hello, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me here from the United Lounge on my way back from OpenWorld. Always risky to do an event report when the event has only been going on since 3 days. But I've been here for 3 days and I have to leave, unfortunately. So I'll try to do my best to summarize what I always do in the mega big events like the Sapphire and the Dreamforce. What are my 3 top positives and my 3 top concerns? And please notice, as Doug Henshin is watching this, my colleague, that I'm observing the thirds, and I propped up my laptop on top of my carry-on, so it's at my height, and I don't have to look down. But the lighting is still inclement, so I'm sure my colleagues will have something to complain about. But it's not about me doing YouTube Hangout videos, but it's me to talk to you about Oracle OpenWorld, which again has been a big event. Similar attendance than last year, I would say. Oracle claims more attendance with 60,000. Brian Somers listening said, yes, the event was well attended. I'm sure he's going to give me a plug on that. And a lot of customers in attendance, right? As great as I dabble into future of work HCM. Chris Leon shared that for the first time, there have been more live customers attended than prospects looking and evaluating the software. So it shows the maturity, at least on the HCM side. But overall, I had a conversation with many people attending on the show floor and so on. There were more customers, from my impression, than the previous years, which is an interesting development for Oracle overall. And you can see that a lot of spending has been happening from the customers. As you know, I talk about 2 kind of show floors at these kind of events. To make it clear, the Matterhorn is the one, the vendor is the middle, and there's some big area in the middle. That's the Matterhorn show floor. OpenWorld is not a Matterhorn show floor, but in this red rocky mountains, Australians profile. That lots of vendors have been spending a lot of things, and only a few vendors on the edges on the right don't have big booths with multiple stories of things hanging from the roof. So let's come to the Oracle announcement. What are the top 3 positives? There can be no doubt. Big question is Oracle, or big question, not the big positive is Oracle's infrastructure as a service generation 2, coming out of what was previously always the Skyward project up in Seattle. Lots of DNA from other vendors who are in Seattle, and we'll talk about this in a moment. Oracle shared for the first time details about this. I've done some videos about this before. 2 data center locations right now available for that. Oracle splits it into 3 availability domains, 3 data centers in a single location for the high availability requirements from their customers. Interesting from that approach, because everybody else in the industry does 2 at the moment. Separate networking, virtual networking, software-defined. Basically, if you would take modern software-defined data center into for IaaS, that was really fine on the Oracle side, but of course tuned to the load that Oracle wants to move there, which is critical enterprise load, and of course a lot of databases, hence the 3 data centers, 2 for HA, 1 for backup, because the practice in the enterprise is tape backup, but you don't want to have tape backup in the public cloud because you don't want to have people running around putting tapes into something, right? You want to avoid that. That should not be happening. So an interesting approach, a different approach. Network isolation, tons of security. Oracle just acquired Palera from a security perspective to have only access by yourself. So lots of interesting pieces. Equally, that much of that stack is supposed to run premise, but it's very early days, as I mentioned. 2 availability areas only. Larry called them availability zones, which I think is the competitor's name. So availability domains at 2 locations. Number would be going up to half a dozen. In the Q&A with Mark Hurt, I asked him when will the capex of that start, and of course he didn't give me a number, but he had to ask. But it has to be significantly going up, and we'll see if this really works. This could be not generation 2, but probably 3.5 if you would go versions, because Oracle tried different multiple things for that. If that works, we should see that in the capex numbers, because Oracle has to buy a lot of gear, has to buy a lot of data center locations. The interesting insight from Mark actually on my question was that he expects out of the existing data center a lot of clip, meaning that more gear will go into existing locations, but there's limitations on the space in that. And we've seen that already, that public cloud providers have bought out space to preempt each other from owning space in certain locations. So good news for Equinix, Digital Reality, and the other guys who are sending out just data centers and physical security, power, and so on. So we'll see more competition from that perspective for sure. On the application side, definitely the big news is Oracle's push in artificial intelligence. I shared with Larry that it's not artificial intelligence, it's nothing to do. This is why Oracle doesn't call it AI. Kudos from my perspective on that. Long run discussion with my Constellation colleagues, but calling it adaptive intelligence. Now, if that's a good name, great name, I don't really know, but that's how Oracle decided, or the Oracle gurus have decided to call this whole thing. Give me a little more insight what's going on in the United Lounge in San Francisco. Starting with the use case, which is really not surprising, really, but would have been if Oracle would not do adaptive intelligence, but has acquired Bukai, and with that has data of over 3 or even 5 billion people on Earth about their browsing and consumer behavior, and using that to suggest basically next best action, what should be bought, how a website could be configured. All very performance crazy or critical, all interesting for load from the cloud. The other use cases announced around IoT, HCM, supply chain planning are all interesting, but are further out. So very early days, similar like on Oracle IS Gen 2, where at least there's 2 data centers out there. On the adaptive intelligence side, there's not even the application for it out there. But good to see. I've been always criticizing Oracle for a long time for not having anything in the predictive intelligence area. It was more rules-based and more pedestrian what was offered in that part, so good to see the ambition. And overall, the third positive takeaway, there's broad R&D push. I mean, there's so many things that Oracle's doing. Larry's keynote, and his second keynote today, I'll talk about this in a moment, 18 announcement of products in the keynote. I would say like major other events, even the ones where I do these top 3 positive or top 3 concerns, there's maybe 2-3 announcements of this style, right? So other people do death by PowerPoint. Larry definitely did, or Oracle does death by announcement. This comes back to how do you get this message best out? If you want to have this mega event, is this the right thing to go along with your executive to present, or do you have to have a more themed approach? Because basically, we learned about everything from Larry on Sunday, from Thomas Curry on this morning. We learned again from Larry this afternoon on things hitting in the same area. So there were always some themes, right? So to be fair to Oracle. Now I switch to the concern side, right? Infrastructure as a service has to work this time for Oracle. If it doesn't work, there's no way for Oracle to pull off what I call Larry's vision, is to become the IBM of the 21st century. Not the IBM in terms of functionality and footprint of the original IBM being only a hardware vendor and then service vendor and then software vendor, but to provide everything from the lowest level, the silicon, the chip, all the way to the click up in the applications. So it has to work this time. It's promising right now. Lots of work still has to be done. For the moment, it has done everything to attract the load. Oracle has to get so much load to get this going, to overtake or to come at the point which they want to. They want to be Amazon. Larry spent almost 1 hour to say why the Oracle IS Gen 2 is better than Amazon. There's some merit. There's some things which are, of course, Oracle Rhetoric, as you always see. But lots of things still have to come together. For instance, the cloud is bare metal, which is a positive. We know that bare metal clouds work. Very successful for IBM with the former software investment, because people still want to see their server when they touch the server. Also, if you want to take all your mess, all your zoo that you might have accumulated over 10, 15 years of smart IT decisions which don't look so smart anymore, bare metal is the only way to get this going and to get that moved over. So interesting first start, but virtualization is supposed to be also there. Virtualization is going to come. We'll get Oracle the magic quadrants of some of our friends in the industry, but it's not yet that. So it's similar. Some Linux distributions are missing. Kudos to a journalist friend who pointed it out to me, which is a good point. So overall, it comes back to, can Oracle attract this massive load to get the economies of scale to run all these data centers? If Oracle would have gotten it right 2 years ago, my background management calculation was, and you can read in the blogs, and I think I did videos then too, is there's enough there's not organic own in-house load by Oracle to, if Oracle just moves their customers to the public cloud, they would have been big enough to Amazon comparison as the market leader right now. At the moment, that's no longer the case. So Oracle has to try to do things like with Ravello to be able to move VMware instances with our images without having to touch them, to do bare metal, to do virtualization, offer 6, Thomas Curran shared 6 different ways of doing compute in the cloud, storage in the cloud in a very effective way. So top 3 concern, like last year, I mean, Oracle is Oracle. I spoke to some of the European journalists. They think it's like foolish what Oracle is doing, and that's not achievable what Oracle is doing. And I think Oracle will see that in their coverage. It's a little bit too much chest pumping, a little bit too much beating the other guys instead of doing the merits. But Oracle is Oracle, Larry is Larry. It's largely his company, so some things cannot be changed. But it would be good for Oracle to become a little more gentle. If you look back to what SAP has pulled off at Sapphire of promising to listen more to their customers. Now they have to prove to do that. That might change the way how enterprise software is being done, because nobody loves the enterprise software vendor or the enterprise software sales rep. There's no question about that. But it definitely makes Oracle a little bit even more the outliers. Can there be a more gentle Oracle? Coming to my overall combination of my point of view, massive show, massive number of announcements for Oracle. Oracle is on track, giving them benefit of the doubt to become the IBM of the 21st century, because nobody else is virtually trying to do this. Significant progress in all directions. Haven't even talked about the finance applications, significantly more customers there, the supply chain management, the last child of the HCM, so the apps applications, cloud family coming to life. All good progress on massive many areas. It seems to be all working together for now, fingers crossed, because this is the biggest enterprise software and probably one of the biggest R&D projects out there in the world happening right now. And all that has to seamlessly work together to have the benefits of this integrated from the chip to the click stack. And Oracle needs to capture a lot of cloud load to get these economies of scale, to buy so much compute, to buy so much networking gear, to get the space in the co-location centers, in the data centers, and so on. So exciting things to come. Look for the CapEx and the quarterly earnings calls from Oracle. Sorry, no Constellation jingle logo. Somehow my browser here is out of capacity, so I might edit that later depending on the sound quality here. Thanks for watching. As usual, a little more longer than I wanted. Appreciate your patience. Share with me what you thought of OpenWorld. Looking forward to that. Thanks, bye-bye. Thanks for watching.